All right, we should be punching the go live button. Everybody should be able to see my cards, and you should be able to see my face. Folks, ladies and gents, welcome back. As always, I am Fritz, and we are doing some more Historic Brawl. So today specifically, I have a deck with our new bestest boy, aka Here Comes the Boy. There he is. Skrelv, Defector Mite, the most adorable little Phyrexian horrible thingamabobberina. He's great. He's great, and we love him. Skrelv is a 1/1 for 1. He's got Toxic 1. He's a Mite, which is one of the new creature archetypes that we've gotten 1, so he can't block. And his ability is 1 white Phyrexian mana, tap, choose a color. Another target creature you control gains Toxic 1 and Hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. So let's talk about this very quickly. This is a mono white deck. I have made it effectively as a toxic deck. Now, I think there's probably another path you could take with Skrelv, which is to use him as a cantrip protection deck. The reason that I would lean towards that is because there's only about a total of 25 either proliferate or toxic cards that are available for you. And Historic Brawl is a 100 card format. So only about a fourth of your deck, and we'll get some conditions around that, can actually do toxic stuff. So while we do have things like, let's go grab a few of them. Yeah, we've got Crawling Chorus, we've got Infleshed Fesh Cutter, we've got White Sun's Twilight, we've got Skrelv's Hive, obviously. The subtype for this deck basically is two other things. One is Enchantment Matters, so we've got a fair amount of, so since we got Skrelv's Hive, we've also got Moonblessed Cleric to go fetch Skrelv's Hive or to go fetch something like Abiding Grace, so that if Skrelv dies, we can get him back from the graveyard. And then we've also got a bunch of things that just get us more lands, so Ambitious Farmhand, Gift of Estates, at least to the extent that we can in white. And then finally, the rest of the deck is filled in with what I would call basically cantrips. So things that when we cast them, they'll give us a card. So in order to do that, we've reduced the size of our deck a little bit, hopefully, making it a little bit easier to actually get to stuff like Staff of Completion, where we can actually proliferate. And the last trick we have in our deck is that we're going to try to take advantage of Double Strike. So Skrelv lets us give Toxic to other creatures. Toxic triggers whenever you deal damage. That means if you put it on Double Strike and the Double Strike goes through, it will be 2 instances of Toxic and 2 hits. So I have played a fair amount of games with this list at this point. It's done really well, but all of those games were in the morning, and so I'm almost positive I'm going to run into what I call the stream curse, which is whenever I make a deck and I'm convinced that it will do horrible and I play it on stream, it wins every single game. And whenever I make a deck and I have a bunch of really cool, good games with it off stream, I go on stream and I lose every single time, regardless. So yeah. So we'll see. Oh, it's the new Atraxa. I think there have been a few people who've made lists for this. I have not looked at them, so I don't know what the play pattern is. Fateful Absence, Key to the City, Draka, and Ravnica at War actually might be very good into this. So I didn't run a huge number of hard removal. We are not on the play, though, which is a bummer. Based on what their turn 2 option is. Now, the one downside with Skrelv that you'll probably see, because this person is probably running 4-color good stuff, is that Skrelv cannot protect himself. He can protect other people, but he cannot keep himself from just going kaboom, which I would consider a bit of a problem. Let's do Mind Stone, so that if we have to, we can... I want to have the mana for Ravnica at War, if we need it. I would also like to have the rest of the... Can also do... oh, I could do Mondrak. Mondrak is not... Mondrak is an enabler here. We have some token production, but without that token production being turned on, Mondrak does not do as much as you might hope. Other downside is that Skrelv can only give protection from things that are actually in colors. Let's throw Mondrak out, because Mondrak will probably bait some form of response. Also, you might notice that I'm not wearing my normal sweatshirt, which I like to consider my quote-unquote streaming clothes. today. That's because right before this, I had to go running. And so I ran my 5 miles, and I was a little bit slower than normal, which means I didn't really get a chance to actually take my post-run shower. I will do that after the stream. So is this good stuff green ramp? They're playing a lot less... they're playing a lot less multicolored permanents than I would have liked to get rid of with Ravnica War. I might do Phyrexian Vindicator next turn. They're still... How far are they? They're going to get up to 2 basic lands, 5 and 6. So next turn will be Atraxa, which means I will get 1 turn to use Phyrexian Vindicator. And it is Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, Lifelink. I'm fine with that, actually. It's 2 basic lands. Oh, they're going to get the treasure. Actually, so maybe they can do it this turn. We'll see if we can pilot this in, though. When it leaves the battlefield, draw a card. I would rather not give them cards. So, life is a resource. Yeah, I have to spend it. Green. They will probably just chump it with Circuit Mender. And let's do the Vindicator. So Phyrexian Vindicator is interesting, except for the fact that it instantly dies to destroy target creature. I don't think it's really a bait card. It does a really good job into certain colors. So into red, it does well into green, in my experience. Not because green can't get rid of it. Green has a lot of destroy target flying creature, but it very rarely, those decks run those in Historic Brawl. The downside to Phyrexian Vindicator is if you're not in mono white, good luck getting all the colors for it. It's not going to happen. Okay. That's bad. So that is exile. Yep. Create a 2/2 white samurai. Creature chooses. Player sacrifices all creatures they don't choose this way. I'm going to do this. Next turn we have Key to the City and we have Skyclave Apparition based on which one feels more relevant. Now my hope is that my opponent is not running Swords to Plowshares or Fragmentize, because I would really like Eternal Wanderer to go die in a fire. Let's open with Skyclave Apparition. Look, you either have the Swords to Plowshares or you don't. Hurry up and play it. Okay, and that gives us a window to just go do that. Is there any reason to not attack? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. So the good news is we got rid of the Eternal Wanderer, which means they no longer have an infinite supply of 2/2 double strikes. Eternal Wanderer, I think, would actually probably go decent in this deck. It might actually be in this deck. I have to double check in a second. Yep. Reveal the top 10. What did you grab? That is... Well, we'll see what they get. Did they get an artifact? I see creature. I see instant or sorcery. I see enchantment. Okay, so they're going to try to bounce their own dude. Let's see what they take. They took Wash Away. They took Teleportation Circle. They will not have the mana to do anything about... Right? Yeah. Let's go get a bunch of planes. Is there any point to doing anything? So this is currently 6 to cast, which means next is 8. 6, 7, 8. They'll have the mana, they'll cast it again. They did not take the instance to protect it. I'm in a bit of a pickle. I would rather that they played Etri before I did anything. If I play him right now, though, I'm just going to get hosed. Oh yeah, you've got Lifelink and Death Touch. I should not have done that, but whatever. No attacks, end turn. I would just give them 7 life if I went in. Yes, the downside is now they have Atraxa out, and this does look like it's just bounce Atraxa, get a million things, which is... It's basically just, not Tiamat, it's basically the old 5-color Nymph Mizzet, but now it's got a 7/7 flyer. I was hoping it'd be something a little more exciting. That said, it's probably going to kick my ass. I don't have enough removal to continually get rid of Atraxa and prevent them from playing it with all this treasure. So they'll probably play the Teleportation Circle. And then they'll hold everything else. Maybe I should have just gotten rid of Tireless Provisioner, but I did not expect them to be getting this much treasure off it. Ah, well. It's what it is. So they'll bounce Traxa, they'll go grab a bunch more stuff, and then they'll just play a control game while they punch with the 7/7. I shouldn't have searched for a land last turn, but we'll see if that makes much of a difference. The problem is now they have their counter spells, so now they'll just protect and bouncy bouncy. Yeah. Just ramp into generic protection. They will probably, yeah, they'll take Reclamation Sage. Not a lot of land. They'll take Reclamation Sage into the north and Smothering. They will play Smothering, then the Sage, use the Sage to get rid of Key to the City. And then they will still have enough mana open for both their counters. Couldn't they have... Yeah, they definitely messed that up, right? It's up to 7. I get it, you're very confident you're going to win, but man, just take the free extra cards. That's unfortunate. They have enough to counter both. So it doesn't really matter what I do here. Let's just play the Ravnica at War. I am shocked. Yeah, I think Tireless Provisioner was the big mistake. Because it's giving them the treasure to support everything else. Yep, now Reclamation Sage, keep the city. I wonder, I hope my... Does my over... No, it doesn't. Okay, that works fine. I was freaking out. I was like, wait a minute, is that going to block my... Oh. I'm actively offended by the fact that they didn't play Panharmonicon and then the Reclamation Sage. It's just an unacceptable level of greed. I'm gonna get rid of Dune Mover. I wonder if it would have made sense to... Okay, hear me out. This will look stupid. Oh, no. This is gonna look stupid. And it technically has a reason for being done. And it's mostly hoping that they just do something very greedy and dumb, which might give me my one tiny little chance of having a comeback. Okay, didn't work out. So the hope was that I would sack both of those, put Skyclave Apparition into the graveyard. They would then spend the rest of their mana, in which case if I top decked Escape from Avernus, I would have a 5/5 flyer in the air. And I would be able... Would I even have enough mana? I'd be seeing at 7. Yeah, it would have worked. It's not going to, but it could have. Yeah, this literally feels like they just made the exact same Niv Mizzet deck and stuck. Oh. You have a 7/7 flyer and I'm tapped out. Thank you. I know a lot of people made Atraxa lists. I'm still skeptical of them being anything interesting. Let me rephrase that. I don't think they're actually going to be better than the existing Niv Mizzet lists. There we go. I think they're going to be Niv Mizzet lists, but this time you're using Atraxa. All right, let's see if we get any games. All right, Jorkadeen, first Gold Warden. What's funny is when playing this game for testing this list, I've actually gotten wins against Rusko, the Hellcube Bolus. There was a fair amount of stuff. I'm gonna hope that you don't run 1-drops. That might be a mistake, and I might get punished for it in about 30 seconds, but we're gonna hope. Life is always worth hoping. Authority of the Console will get me... Nah, it's got to be Ambitious Farmhand. And I sort of should have swung first. If I get one more planes, then we got the Vindicator. The Vindicator is basically just in here because it's a new fun card. I don't think it's not in here because it's actually particularly in theme. Yep, Ingenious Smith. Thoran Power Suit. All right, let's play that planes. Is it worth getting rid of you? No. It's worth doing this, though. protection from white. Get another poison. We'll do the Vindicator next turn. Red-white actually is probably not going to have too much trouble with the Vindicator. They will probably just blow it up real quick. Clement. Barbed Wire Fist. Okay. 3-1. Okay. Let's force them to panic a little bit. Actually, we're going to try to force them to panic, so let's do this. So this is the other thing I was considering using Skrelv for, and I didn't make this deck because it seems like it's going to be the standard boring one, which is value white Skrelv cantrip protection, where basically you keep Skrelv untapped and you use him to just protect things like Phyrexian Vindicator. So right now, they either have to commit a board wipe or 2 cards to get rid of Phyrexian Vindicator. Yep. Oh, is this going to be combo? Kemba? Alright. I should have looked at those lists that they had. And that's a win. I'm surprised they conceded that so quickly, though. I'm not sure that was necessarily over. Okay, actually, I wonder... Could you do red-white Formuridin transmorgify into Emrakul? You use the Formuridin and Germs to generate... We're on the play. This is not amazing, actually. I'm going to mulligan that. This is a bit better. And we are playing into Ayla. Keep 7. So what I really wanted the 1 and 2 drops in the... Hey, it's both Skrelv. So Skrelv can't block, so there is no reason to do anything even remotely resembling blocking. We're just going to go in. We're going to poke. So this might be fun. This looks like this could be modified Ayla with 1 support. I like that. That seems fun. I want to do Combat Thresher. Protection from... It doesn't really matter. We'll just say white. Next to combat. Now, they can block it with the Ornithopter, and they probably won't, though. Combat Thresher. So Combat Thresher does a lot of great things for us, actually, in this list. First off, it is a cantrip, so it gives us another card. It also has Double Strike, so it meets both of those pretty good conditions. Now, on our turn, we're going to do Skyclave and just pull Ayla out of the way. Yeah. We're going to pull Ayla out. They will have to put it back in the command zone, which is good for us, which means I won't get anything out of that. So this is the other thing I wanted to mention. There's no reason to keep 1 white open. 1 white. We'll give that. What are the split second cards? The 0 drops. I don't think we have the black one, right? I'll say blue. And then we'll just swing in. So this is why we have Double Strike, is that it actually gives us a chance to get a fair amount more in terms of toxic tokens. Or poison counters, I guess. Now, there's a non-zero chance that we just get board wiped here, which would be unfortunate. In which case, we would take the 1 proliferate and then play Skrelv again. Hedron Archive. Okay. and Crystalline Giant. Now, Crystalline Giant is actually going to be a problem. So we are just going to Wanderer's Strike that. Oh, I forgot about Skrelv. I got played. Wow, I'm dumb. Should I just... How should I have done that? That's the one downside to Skrelv, is you can't make it so they're unblockable by targeted, and white has very few unblockable. I guess it does have that one princess. Because I was working on an unblockable deck earlier, but a lot of the unblockable stuff or better evaders are in black, actually. We'll do Authority of the Consoles next. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. I'm going to have to just throw everybody at him. That should be a colored target, right? Yeah, that's a targeted ability. Okay, so I feel better now. Me and my opponent are both idiots. We are both complete morons. Okay, there's the Source of Plowshares. Yep. But it still forced them to get used both. Okay, Murex, one of our specialty lands. I am going to do Authority of the Consoles. And I am going to wait one turn in the hopes that they play Ella, and I can play Ravnica at War and hit Tezzeret and Ella. We'll see how this works out. Okay. That is 3. I want to do Teferi's Protection. That's probably a bad idea, but let's do it anyway. Let's do Ravnica at War. Get rid of those. No attacks, and turn. Now, I'm going to have to get rid of Skrelv next, unless I want to repeat the exact same mistake I just made. So here comes Ayla. Ooh, that's not good. So they can probably go get something big now. Probably Immortal Sun would be the default. Menace, Vigilance, Trample. There's actually no reason for them to not swing with Crystalline Giant, but I guess I can double chump it. Never mind. And they figured it out. So this is the thing, is Skrelv gives hexproof, not protection. Okay, now I would really love to top deck a white card. Because if I top deck a white card, there we go. We can now return a Skyclave Apparition to my hand. We can now play Skyclave Apparition, and they have tapped down Skrelv, which means I no longer have to deal with that. And I can now do this. Protection from blue. They still have their 3 artifacts, though. Next turn I'll have Indoctrination Attendant. Let's just got spicy. They have Inventor's Fair. If they're willing to commit to Inventor's Fair, they can probably go grab Immortal Sun, and that would probably give them enough juice, I think, to outlast me. I don't think I can poison them to death fast enough. Because they just need to pull 1 or 2 pieces of removal, and I can only hit them for 2 each turn. I need to hit them for 3 turns, and they can probably outrace me. That's my thought. Though we'll find out in a moment. The other option would be to, yep, okay, let's go see what they get. I'm assuming it's going to be Immortal Sun, but I could be wrong. What else could they get that would be really good? It's probably not Paradox Engine, not right now. Portal. It could be Portal of Phyrexia. I don't think they have quite of the mana for it yet, so... No, they do. They would. So, Portal of Phyrexia, that would also be very good. Portal of Phyrexia, Immortal Sun... Meteor Golem if they feel like they really need the spot removal, but I'm not sure that's the right choice. Solemn. Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's not a bad pick. So they've picked something that they can play it and just use it as a chump blocker. They can use it as a colorless chump blocker. So I only get 1 more hit of poison in before I can't really do too much. I don't... That probably wasn't the wrong choice, but... Okay, we got Swords to Plowshares, so we're going to use that in a bit. I'm going to pay... Nope, we're going to pay... 1 second. So I want 3, 1... Yeah, we can pay in white mana. And we're going to give it to you because you can't block. Protection from blue. Next to combat. End turn. They are at 6. They can get 2 more cards off Hedron, though. Oh, that's a problem. Let's see what they actually do, though. Yeah, makes sense. I'm surprised they're not attacking with a Layla. Why? Is that blue? I thought that was artifact creatures. Oh, there's other blue creatures. Draw a card, discard a card. They might have just gotten something useful. Okay, Midnight Clock. Honestly, it could be worse. We're gonna get rid of Skrelv now. So we have 3 poison. We have 1 instance of proliferate that I have no set way of triggering, sort of trying to force them to do it by blocking in the face. And, oh, Abiding Grace. Do we have any 1-drop creatures? Not yet. So we will... hold off on that for a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can block any 2. They will take 2 poison next to damage. Surprised they didn't block Skrelv, but... alright. And Abiding Grace. don't have anybody I can get back, so we're just going to get 1 life. I do have a lot of 1-drops in this deck that I would like, though. Skrelv is 1, Crawling Course is another. Who else? There's a couple... I believe there's like 3 or 4 more. Skrelv is the main one, but... So I can cheat in 2 poison, probably. I can get in 1 poison. Yeah, okay. I need 1 more instance of proliferate somewhere. Because I can force them to block Martyr for a Cause. I can force them to kill Martyr for the Cause. But I cannot force them to do anything else. I could just throw everybody in. They have to block Skrelv, and then I can just get him back. Does he come back tapped? Spicy. They are doing some clever math. Oh, that's a good trick. I see it. I like it. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's do it. Nope, I want as much life as I have can get at this point. Protection from blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. So, Martyr for the Cause, they have to block with Solemn Simulacrum. And because they have to block it, that means I get a proliferate, and then I can try to cheat 1 more in. Skyclave Apparition, yeah, they don't have to block it, so there's no real reason to. Let's see how this works out. This is turning into kind of a spicy one at the end here. Unfortunately, tokens cease to exist when they... Yep. I will gain 1 life. And now I just need to find a way to get Martyr for the Cause killed. Ugh. And I will have closed this one out. Let's see how that's going to work out for us, though. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good overview. At this point, we've seen kind of how the deck works. Obviously, I haven't drawn as much of the hard, like, targeted removal as I would like. But this is pretty much it, which is you try to get a bunch of poison on it earlier, and then you try to just find a way to push it out. All right, Mystic Forge, yep. What they get rid of? Goldmire Bridge. Thought Monitor. That draws them 2 cards. So I need a way to... They need a way to tap down... They need to do one thing. They can kill Skrelv. That will protect them. No, it won't, actually. They need to exile Skrelv. Exile or tap down Martyr for the Cause. Or return everything to my hand. That would also work. I need 1 tick of Proliferate or some form of Infect to get through. I wonder, does Unctus Urge Control becomes a blue artifact? I think that's game with that, because it enters tapped. So Authority is in here to slow down my opponent and let me have more openings. It's basically doing exactly what it's supposed to do right now. And I think I can just give Martyr for the Cause protection from blue and swing it through to win this next turn. I can also just do this. Is there any way they can... I don't think so. And that's game. Toxic Skrelv. He's just a little guy. He's just a little guy, you know? I kind of wanted to do like a Here Comes the Boy animation with Skrelv, but I'm not good at animating. Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. Welcome. Here he is. He is here. I'm terrible at singing. I apologize to anybody who just listened to that. It makes me happy though. All right, we got Heliod. Anointed Peacekeeper is quite good. We got Duelist of Deep Faith for turn 2, so let's break out Skrelv. Orvar the All Form tends to be combo-y, so this should be interesting. It's going to be a question of, are they faster than me? So let's take that. And here comes the Duelist. Turn 3 is going to have to be Anointed Peacekeeper to try to slow them down. Heliod would be nice, but Heliod doesn't necessarily contribute to our actual win condition. They didn't play anything, which means they are likely holding, I think. We're just going to go in. We're going to force them to use their utility here. Yep. Okay, Anointed Peacekeeper. Let's go see what they've got. We're going to get rid of some of their tools. I don't care too much about anything they've got in their hand, except maybe... Robe could be a little bit of a problem for me. I'm going to get rid of the Replicating Ring. It gets rid of their play for this turn, at least. Disdainful Stroke. I should have got the Disdainful Stroke. That was silly of me. Disdainful Stroke only hits 4 or greater, right? So, next to combat. So, obviously, we can play this as a... we're going to do Duelist of Deep Faith here. They would have to use... probably see the Ottawa get cracked out shortly. Oh, we'll see Orvar. Exile target with mana value 3 or less. Okay, but they've tapped out. Which means it is time for Mothra Supersonic Sentinel. And then we're just going to do... Yep. Can I escape? Cancel that. I screwed this up. Protection from blue. Okay, so I just messed up really badly for anybody paying attention, and I missed a poison counter. So if I end up losing by 1 poison counter, that's a hard misplay. Now, Mothra... Oh, I should have just gone in, though. Okay, so I messed up twice. I should have just chased in, because Duelist of Deep Faith would have come back. Whoopsie daisies. Yeah, we're just going to go for face. We're going to force them to use Ottawa. I should have held Skrelv out. But if they use Ottawa, they can't use the other, yeah. And let's force them to play a counterspell so that they probably don't, so that they have less when, yep. They'll use Disdainful Stroke. Yep, that's perfect. And that means that they will hopefully have less counterspells to deal with the fact that I'm about to give them 2 more poison. I think. Oh, we got Borrowed Time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to Borrowed Time. We're going to get rid of their commander because they'll have to replay him, which means they'll return him to their Exiled Zone, most likely. Yeah, so not only did I've misplayed... Yeah, I should have already had lethal. I missed 2 damage earlier when I put Skrelv's protection on the wrong creature. Good game. And then, after making that mistake, I made another mistake when I didn't actually chase into face. We're gonna chase around the face tonight. We're gonna chase and face around tonight. Alright. We'll do a few more games. How long has this been going? 46 minutes? Yeah, that's time for a couple more. Okay, it is Urza from Bro. Sometimes this is a meld deck, which usually lends itself towards control. Opponent goes first, which is bad for us. Mostly because it raises the question of, do we play Skrelv or Paladin on turn 1 to mess with their ability to do stuff on turn 2. We're going to push Skrelv. We might get punished for it, but... yeah, this looks like a semi-comp. The hope is that they commit to some form of cantrip or something on turn 2 and let us play Paladin class, but I'm not optimistic about that. The question basically is, do I care more about slowing them down, or do I care more about getting potentially an extra poison counter? And my default response is, I care about the extra poison counter more, but it's gonna always be a bit spicy to see which one actually comes out. Let's do Paladin class now, because I really don't want that to be counterspelled. They might just be about to crack out Urza. To which my response is probably... I may as well show this person off, right? Now let's do Combat Thresher, actually. So, get another card. Next, no attacks, and turn. And let's see what they play. So now we're in the cantrip setup, where they have to spend removal on Skrelv before they can spend it on Combat Thresher. They spend it on Skrelv, and it's more than 3 mana. Judge is familiar. Yep, that's the other way that works. Actually, no, it doesn't, because I'm going to give the Combat Thresher +1/+1, and they will not actually have manas next turn. Artifacts, legendaries, sagas, yep. Okay. Pass to attackers. Actually, they can attack into me if they want. I don't give protection, I give hexproof, so no blocks. I take 2. I'm going to hold off on Gift of Estates for the moment. So let's do that. Let's do... Luminarch Aspirant. Let's do Ambitious Farmhand. We're going to go get a Plains. Life is a resource. So let's say protection from blue. Doesn't really matter. Put it on Combat Thresher. And in we go. They are not going to want to block with Jorias because they probably want to decrease the cost of stuff. So this might just be artifact cost reduction. So right now they can cast artifacts for 3 colorless mana less than they should normally cost. Which means if they get out Semblance Anvil, all of a sudden they can basically play things like Immortal Sun for no mana. At which point I will have a problem. Okay. Next to combat. I'll put it on Combat Thresher. I'm just going to go for face here. We're going to see what they do. Yep, that's understandable. Spicy. And I'm going to play... I'm going to play Anika, actually, because I can. And then we may as well play Esper Sentinel to punish them for playing lots and lots of artifacts. And we still have Skrelv as a protection cantrip, but we've had to change up the general strategy here. So I can't cantrip my way out of that one. We're just going to have to take it. And... okay, they tapped themselves out on that, though, and the most important thing is to make sure that they are suffering. And then we're going to play as much small stuff again as we can. Esper Sentinel is another one of the 1-drops that benefits well off some of that. And then I want them to be unhappy. So I'm going to do Borrowed Time. That might have been a mistake. But it does probably mess with their plans a little bit, which is kind of what I want. Okay. Okay, they only have 3 counter spells. Let's make them use them. Okay. I have to... yep. Okay, so we're going to pay life here. We're going to do protection from blue. Next to combat. Poke. Dune Mover. We're just going to go real wide. And Ambitious Farmhand. Yep. So, hopefully they don't have... well, that's not great. Okay, Teferi can only... what does he do? He gets them... opponents can't cast spells on your turn. You may cast spells so they have flash. Turn to 1 artifact. You can get something back in my hand. So the right choice is probably... well, if he gives me back Borrowed Time, then I can just Borrowed Time Teferi. Which is not great. Hand. Okay. Let's play a Plains. And... we're going to throw everything at Teferi. So you're a losing Teferi, regardless of what you do. Fantastic. Skrelv, Defector, Mite. Thank you for the free card. Decline. And Abiding Grace. Turn target creature with mana value 1. I will take my Skrelv back. Alright, so they are digging for a 3-drop that can turn this game for them. I'm really hoping they don't find it. They're in blue-white. That's bad. Karns is quite bad for me. Extra turns I do not like. Well, I have 2 drops I can play. Yes, no, no. Protection from white. That in our set, that to the face. Turn you into a 6/6, which becomes a 7/7, which can't be blocked, which is 14 damage to your face. And interesting. I am surprised that they did not... Okay, so the hope here is that they don't have something they can combo out of with Karns. We are in a strong position, but they have Karns, and Karns is bullshit. It does mean we get to draw a card if they cast it, though. We don't have any token production for Mondrak. Son of a bitch. Does that have haste? No, but we have removal for it. Decline. Okay, we've got 2 pieces of removal. We are going to just go through. We're going to do Minimus Containment on Cityscape Leveler, because then, even if this gets removed, auto pay, Borrowed Time, on Joria's. Nothing else here buffs me in combat, so we're just going to go in. I want everything to be at least a 4 toughness. I can buff you with... Okay, here's what we do. We do this. And that's... Okay, I guess they didn't want to... They felt like they'd lost. That's fair. Cityscape Level might have been their last big chance to get anything out of that in a meaningful way. Oh. All right. That was a good game. So I think that's probably a good place to end the stream. I will talk about the let deck a little bit more, I guess. There's a few things I want to cover because there's definitely some things in this list that shouldn't be there. But I don't like... Okay. Generally speaking, I don't like tweaking stuff. So let's talk about the cards that should not be in this deck. Introduction to Annihilation is actually probably fine, but you could replace it with better removal. Anointed Procession probably shouldn't be in this deck. Mondrak probably shouldn't be in this deck. The reason is that there's very limited token production in here. I thought they'd be fun, so I included them, but the only real token production is Skrelv's Hive and White Sun's Twilight. Staff of Completion is incredible. Linden is decent. I included them just because I thought it would be interesting, and I wanted to see if there was a side gain for life as a mini theme. Abiding Grace, and a lot of the stuff is fine. A lot of cards in here. Lulu is in here because there's always the chance that we can perpetually give Skrelv flying and make him even more annoying than he already is. You could probably swap out a fair amount of stuff for protection spells. I would keep the Soul Guide Lantern and Mishra's Bauble and stuff like that. Those are in here because they're cantrips for drawing, but also in the case of Soul Guide Lantern, it serves a dual purpose of giving us some graveyard hate. Key to the City, same thing. It actually does have a reason for being in the list. who else could be cut? You could cut Phyrexian Vindicator. You could cut it. Immortal Sun, I think, is just good endgame draw. Like, you can see a lot of this is very heavy front loaded. A lot of the games that I did off stream were very much aggro games where it was put enough counters on and then use Staff of Completion to just proliferate. I guess I could probably add some artifact search. You could add more, like, if you wanted this to be a better deck, you could add more actual board wipes. The downside to that is that you're probably going to be wiping out a lot of your own stuff. I think that's it, really. A lot of the other stuff in here can sort of serve general purposes. Heliod can extend stuff or give you lifelink. Indoctrination Attendant, it gives you more mites. But Anointed Procession and Mondrak should probably be cut and replaced with either board wipes or some form of useful stuff, right? I think there was a point where I had Adeline in this list, and then I realized that it was just not as good. But that is Skrelv, the precious, most adorable boy. For anybody who stopped by, thank you for watching. If you like my stuff, I do a lot of historic Brawl decks. Please subscribe. If you've got thoughts, comments, please let me know in the chat, or let me know and just comment on the video. I always appreciate that. Also, if you liked it, please like it, because that's how the algorithm rewards me, and I hunger for nothing but clicks. I hate that that's a thing that's true, but it kind of is. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching. So until next time, take care, and we'll see you then. Bye for now.